Hey there, folks. Recon Trooper here, back with another podcast, and this time with Echo KILLSH0T once again.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So before we get chatting here, I'm assuming you all know what to do, but I'll just explain it anyway. Subscribe to both of us, and if you so choose, of course. It's not an order or anything. And hope you enjoy the video with whatever gameplay I recorded that I forgot. Without further ado, I'll start with the first topic, and feel free to jump in with any topics you may have, Echo, in the process.
Awesome.
And so my first topic was, well, first of all, what console are you on usually?
I've been playing my PS5 a lot. I am currently on my Xbox right now, though. I'm about to attempt to go through Elden Ring for the first time.
Oh, okay. So you play it on Xbox. So have you ever played the Halo series?
Yes, I remember really good memories from, I believe, yeah, it was Halo 4. I tried Guardians, but I didn't really like it that much. But
Well,
I
I've only
definitely
played up
loved
to
it.
Halo 4, and that's it. I haven't bothered with Guardians or Infinite. I played, actually, there's a Halo game I downloaded recently. It was last month, I think. It's called Halo Wars, and I don't know if you've heard. You know those kinds of games where you build armies and stuff? Like
Oh yeah,
it's like in a
yeah,
massive map, kind of like Age of Empires, if you've heard of that game.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
that's basically what Halo Wars is, and you choose. There's 6 factions, but it's basically 3 factions for the UNSC and 3 for the Covenant, and
Sounds cool.
so basically the only difference is some slight like power ups you get depending on who you choose. Um,
Yeah,
but overall, if you choose the UNSC, you pretty much get the same vehicles and units, except for one power unit depending on who you choose. And then on the Covenant side, you get a hero who has their own massive kind of power
that's cool.
ability.
That's,
But yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
but yeah, I've never played 5 or Infinite, and they've kind of sounded pretty ridiculous from what I've heard of them. So
Yeah, I think it was like something with the frame rate or
yeah, well,
glitches.
not just that, but apparently they just don't want to put split screen in anymore. Um,
Oh yeah.
hey, oh, look at that! My program starts working now in the middle of the podcast. Um, Anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah, apparently Halo 5, they just didn't bother with split screen altogether, and then Infinite, they were gonna add it eventually as an update, and then they canceled it.
Yeah, I heard about
And it's
that.
kind of, yeah, I mean, truth be told, I don't have anybody in my house or even in my neighborhood right now to play split screen with, but it's, kind of stupid that they just like it seems like game companies are just going more and more into online, and they are completely disregarding the local aspect that is
Yeah, definitely.
still very much alive and well in this world, if whether you believe it or not.
Yeah,
Like franchise, for instance, you've heard him say numerous times how he loves to fight bots in Call of Duty, and
yeah,
that's for mainly for offline purposes when you don't have other players to fight, or if you just don't want to have other players to fight because they're such try hard, like they play it 24/7, 365 or 66 on leap years, and
in
they
there. Yeah,
they think they're just so good because that's all they do. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's just. Something I like about Halo Reach is there's a mode called Firefight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you ever watched any podcasts I've done with franchise, or did you watch ours, the last one we did?
I think I watched, or should I say I listened? I listened to all of them except the latest one.
Oh, okay. Because the one you and I did, the last one, which actually is the first one you and I did, but it was the last one we did.
Yeah.
I had some firefight, ODST firefight gameplay on that one, and
Oh wow.
it's pretty fun. I mean, aside from the fact, for some reason, sometimes if a guy hits you in the back, even when you have like the highest damage resistance you can get before being invincible, sometimes a guy can hit me in the back and I die instantly for some reason.
Yeah, doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, but overall it's pretty fun because you can set pretty much everything. You can have unlimited ammo. In ODST firefight, you can have unlimited grenades, or regenerating grenades as they call it.
Oh.
And you can basically choose whatever enemies you want to fight. So if you want to just fight grunts, or if you just want to fight hunters, or if you just want to fight, jackals, or if you want to fight a mixed bag, so to speak, you can do that. So
I gotta look up gameplay then.
Yeah, and I also there was a podcast I did with Franchise. It was just after Indiana Jones came out, because I had seen it the following week after it came out, and I wanted to do a podcast with them because it was fresh in my mind still at the time, so I wanted to podcast with them while it was still in my mind, and I had still everything in, I could sort of remember everything still that I saw. And there's a Halo Reach firefight gameplay at the beginning of that one. And,
oh wow.
Yeah, so so there's no bots in Halo, which kind of would be cool, I admit. Would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
But especially, because there's all these maps in multiplayer, and that would be just so cool to be able to just shoot, AI Spartans, or in some games, shoot AI elites,
Yeah.
And even on Halo Reach, there was that. I have numerous maps that I made in Forge, and, it's just a shame I can't really do anything with them except run around them by myself. Because they would be so, they're actually really they're fun layouts that I made. It's just, I don't have any enemies to kill, so if I want to die, I have to take the coward's way out and jump off the cliff into the kill zone.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I made some maps. One I called Haunted Hilltop. Another one I called. That one was, the main idea was kind of the main thought was just I wanted to make a creepy looking map, and so I put like an effect that makes it somewhat, kind of seems sort of like dawn or dusk, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
And there was another thing that's strictly for infection mode, and it gives it this kind of green sort of atmosphere look to it.
Wow.
And yeah, like, it's hard to describe. I haven't recorded gameplay of it, but it's a pretty cool map from what I can remember. And there was another one I made called Royal Gresk, which also was a pretty good one. And,
it's a sick name.
Yeah, well, I just had to think of something, and Royal Gresk just seemed like a name nobody else would think of. So,
yeah.
you know, it's not always easy thinking up names, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to, especially if you want it to be unique and not just, you know, a common, use like common words for the name or something, you know. Like I don't want to, I don't want to have Battle Creek 5.9 or something.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah. So, what's your experience with Halo? Like, have you played the Master Chief Collection, or have you just played them all individually?
My experience with Halo, I do plan on playing all the games. The only one that I remember that I actually played on 360 was Halo 4. But my experience with that game was it was just so. The first mission was just so iconic to me. I say that and I forgot what it was, but I played it multiple times and it was like my favorite mission ever. And the zero gravity stuff, like I thought that was pretty sick. And
yeah,
pretty much I didn't really get to play it a whole lot, but I can really only tell you that that's the only Halo game I have some sort of experience with.
Oh yeah. Well, if you ever get a chance to get the Master Chief Collection, I recommend it because you can you can experience what Halo was like back in 2001 when it first came out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because the first game is very iconic. Obviously, it doesn't take place first. Halo Reach does, but it's the first game they ever made that was Halo, yeah, it's very iconic, even though it's, you know, like they obviously way expanded it since then, because in that one, there was only like, I think, 5 human weapons and 3 Covenant weapons you could use. So the other ones that you see sometimes elites use, like energy swords, or grunts will use fuel rod guns on you. They just kind of disappear or blow up after you kill them. But it's still pretty good, and there's the second half of the game is actually kind of a cross between horror and basically what you were describing, just kind of intense and cool. And because there's a creepy enemy. I'm not gonna spoil it if you haven't played it yet, unless you know about them already. But there's this creepy enemy in at least Halos 1 and 2 and 3, and it's kind of like the Halo version of zombies, I guess.
Oh wow.
Wow. They don't like do exactly what zombies do. Like, they actually do use guns and stuff on you sometimes, and including rocket launchers much to the players.
Yeah, rocket launchers.
Yeah, which isn't always fun when you're trying to, you know, dodge them and they're shooting kind of at the ground and the explosion is big enough that you don't have, you know, there's no dodging.
Wow.
There's no dodging. Once it impacts the surface and you're nearby, you're dead. There's no surviving whatsoever.
No.
But yeah, it's a recommended collection of games. It's all 6 games, like Halo Reach 1, 2, 3, and ODST.
Wow.
And 4. So it's all.
Let me get that.
Yeah, it's all 6 of them in one.
That's cool.
And there's even a skull that allows you to have infinite ammo.
Wow.
But the problem with that is like in the 360 version of Halo 1. Or Halo Anniversary, as they call it, because that's what it was. It was the anniversary of the first Halo game. There is a skull called the Bandana Skull, and it gives you infinite ammo, and no matter what you did, you could get achievements with it on and all that. But in this thing, it's now considered a cheat, and therefore, if you have it on, some things you can't get just because it's on. So, certain achievements like level score and like achievements for getting through a level within a certain time limit and all that don't count. Like they don't unlock while it's on, which kind of sucks.
What about the trophies?
Trophies?
Yeah, like PlayStation trophies.
Oh, Halo's exclusive to Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why I was asking the platform question, because if you said PlayStation, I wouldn't have even brought this topic up.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Wow, I can't believe I feel stupid now.
It's okay. I mean, you get Spider-Man, so it's not like it's a big ripoff.
Oh, I'm happy that Xbox has Halo and Forza Horizon and Starfield coming out, so that's good.
Well, I've heard of Forza. It's a racing series, but I've never really been into racing games. They're kind of like a hit or miss for me. I'll sometimes play them if it's just to mess around with a certain car or something. But I've never really been into the whole racing thing because I find AI in racing games way too cheap.
Same.
Like, I don't know. It's fair. It's more fair when you're just by yourself and you're just cruising around a map, in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
So, but yeah, if you ever get the chance, like I said, try it. It's recommended. It's not demanded, just recommended. You try the Master Chief Collection.
It's on my list. I'll definitely do it.
It's pretty cool. In Halo Reach, you can also customize your own guy. Like, and he even shows up in the campaign. So
that's cool. That's really cool.
Like Halo's 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're the Master Chief, so you can't change anything about him. But in Halo Reach, you're not the Master Chief. You're just this. You're this one Spartan that you play as throughout the whole campaign, and he looks just however you want. If you want him to be pink with a blue visor, or if you want him to have kind of bulky looking armor or whatever. So long as
Master Chief is the GOAT. Master Chief is the GOAT, though.
Yeah. Well, you could try to make the Spartan look like him, I guess, but
that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
You have to still unlock the armor first.
Oh, there's armor too?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's not they would never give it to you for free, otherwise you'd be crazy to think that. No.
Oh, I gotta earn it.
Well, it's not so much earning. Like, you have to... There's this currency called... what is it called? They're like Spartan points or something that you have to do challenges to get them. And some challenges give you 2, some give you 1, depending on what kind of what challenges they are. If they're weekly ones, then some of them will give you 1, some of them will give you, you get 1 also every time you rank up. So,
and there's not a battle pass?
I don't think there's a battle pass on this thing, because it's not. This is I think before battle passes were a thing. Because I don't know. I don't even know if Halo's ever had battle pass. If it has,
they shouldn't.
If it has, it started in Halo 5 or Infinite. But
yeah, I hope Halo gets revived and better.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. But 343 need to get their heads in the game first.
Yeah, these game developers, man. These
Yeah.
game developers.
But so yeah, so the next topic is Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Now, I know I was talking to franchise several podcasts ago when we were talking about Dead Island 2, and he mentioned you had some frustration with The Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
With
I have quite the
with
frustration.
yeah, with Mara's Brood.
Yeah, specifically her.
Yeah. So overall, what's your opinion on the game, and have you beaten it yet?
I have been it. I have been the campaign. I think for the time it was a really good game. Obviously, like it's not canon anymore.
Well,
Wouldn't really make
that's
sense.
in that I'd kind of disagree with that. I think it's subjective whether it's canon or not. Because
Yeah, I wish it was.
on the one hand, yeah, maybe it's not canon anymore because of all the other stuff they've kind of put in the universe. But on the other hand, like it's before Episode 4. It's when the Death Star is still under construction. It's like when Leia is only 16 or so years old. It's like
Yeah, and you kill Obi-Wan, I think.
well, I think that's the dark side version, or that's like one of the missions you can do in it's a DLC mission.
Yeah,
But
but yeah, the game is good.
yeah, the base game, yeah, it's just in my opinion, yeah, it could be canon if you decide it is, because nothing about it really would mess with Rebels or anything if it was canon. I mean,
Yeah.
when exactly does Rebels take place? Like the very last episode, when does it take place?
Maybe I want to say after A New Hope, but
Because
I think it's before.
I've never seen Rebels, so I don't know exactly how it goes, but I do know that Ben Kenobi actually shows up in an episode or two, and he kills Darth Maul.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
it's clearly around A New Hope time. Well, if he looks that old already,
just ages very quick.
yeah, he's the, he's the anti Yoda.
And yeah.
Yoda takes forever to age, and Ben just takes 2 years, and he's already that old.
Yeah, but he's still got the moves.
Yeah, but so yeah, what was your? Did you play the DLC missions on Force Unleashed, like the Coruscant, Tatooine, and Hoth ones?
No, I did not. I just played the main story.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, there's a Coruscant mission that takes place within the story still.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you go into the Jedi Temple and you have to do a bunch of. There's all these things you have to do called trials, and some of them are a bit of a pain because they, they're just they're very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
But like I look every time I play the game, I play that level, for instance, I can't believe I have all the achievements on it, because every time I play that level, there's an achievement for one of the trials that you have to get the sphere. It's like a red sphere you have to use the Force on. You have to get it like guided along this little thin line, and you have to do it without the sphere ever turning red. Like, it turns red when it goes off the line, and you have I think there's three stages and it's really, like I can. Ever since I got that achievement, I can't seem to get it without turning red anymore. And I just like, how did I possibly do this if I can't do it now?
Exactly.
It's just. But yeah, what do you think of the customization of it? Like all the costumes and the lightsaber crystals.
Oh, the customization is really cool, man. I gotta say. The crystals, I only unlocked like 3, like just by playing the game, but
yeah,
there's others to collect, I know, but dude, that Palpatine boss fight, man, I could have just that whole sequence, I think, at the end, like just climbing up the Death Star, just falling down that zero gravity belt thing, that freaking neutron bomb that would go off because they were testing it. Like, I mean, all of that was just a pain to get through, man. I felt like I was playing like a Crash Bandicoot game sometimes, man.
Yeah. But
yeah, I did it.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, especially it's like every maybe 10 seconds they say cooldown cycle complete. All taser shifts are advised.
Dude, exactly.
Like, shut up already. You fired it.
Shut
it works.
Up,
move on.
God, I'm just trying to proceed. My gosh.
Like, what exactly are they firing it at outside?
I don't know what it like. I want to know now. I want to go back through the game and see if I can find an Easter egg.
Firing it into the black of space, or what? Just to see if it see how much damage they can do to space or something.
Practicing for Alderaan, dude.
Well, don't forget Scarif. And
oh yeah.
Well, what was the other one? Jeddah,
yeah.
So, they gotta practice the small stuff first before they go to the big stuff.
Yeah, but I would literally disintegrate like if I messed it up, and it would just be so horrifying to look at.
Yeah, but I don't mind the game. I mean, it's I like changing I like every time I play the next level, I like to change the lightsaber crystal color, because I've got all of them, including the black one.
Oh wow, there's a black one?
Yeah, it's in the room you were talking about, like just before the Emperor's confrontation. It's like at the very top, on top of one of those small beam. I don't know what you call those things, but the small beam thing that you can walk in. Yeah, it's like on the very top one, on top of it. You have to use the gravity thing, one of the gravity things, to go all the way to the top, and then you just have to. Yeah, it's the only thing is it's not like the dark saber where when you swing it, it gives like a black trail. It's a white trail, but it's still cool to have. I mean, I had no idea there was one of those in there, and I think actually I just found it by chance the first time I found it, and
lucky, man, lucky.
Because I just saw this. I think what happened was I just saw this holocron suddenly floating up there when I was playing the level. I'm like, well, there's a holocron up there. Maybe I should get it. And then lo and behold, I get it.
I got the dark saber.
Yeah,
I got the dark saber.
Like, whoa, I got a black crystal, huh? But the black crystal is only one thing. Like, it's not like the other 6 colors where, there's like an unstable, or I forget what the middle one is called. But
yeah. But the black one is my favorite.
Yeah. How do you know you haven't gotten it yet?
Well, I mean, now I'm intrigued to go get it, bro. I'm gonna get it after this podcast. Go back.
Yeah. And make sure to gloat about it.
I will. I will post a YouTube short about it.
So, but yeah, I find the Darth Vader fight to be kind of difficult.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. He throws stuff at you, but you gotta like jump past the base.
yeah.
It's a lot of.
And then when you jump, he force grabs you, and you have to.
Oh yeah, and when you get too close and you try to get hits in, he like.
Yeah.
It's...
But you probably haven't done the dark side ending, have you?
Oh, there's another ending.
Yeah. Instead of going to the Emperor, if you jump down, you fight maskless Vader. And he's a lot harder. Well, I shouldn't say a lot harder, but he is harder than the first time because he seems to, I don't know, his aggression seems to be a lot more when you fight him.
Yeah.
But you get the Sith Stalker armor, as it's called, when you beat it, and it looks pretty cool. He's got like blades on his fingers, and yeah, and he's got his lightsaber's got 3 spikes on where the blade part is. So it's a pretty cool armor if you want to look menacing. But yeah, I've gotten everything on it, as you probably know. I mean, I posted on Franchise's thing here, so you probably saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. It's so hard to believe that though, because there's the Sith Master difficulty you have to beat the campaign on, like story mode on, and you have to essentially start a new game to do that. You can't just change the difficulty.
So wait, when you're going through the game, what do those collectibles do?
The collectibles, they're just cosmetic. Are you talking about you're talking about the lightsabers and the costumes?
Yeah, those collectibles.
Yeah, they're just cosmetic. They don't do anything really. They just make you look cool, you know.
That's all I want. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I mean, if in the Hoth DLC mission you get this outfit that looks similar to it kind of looks like a cross between the Sith Stalker armor and Darth Vader's armor, and there's even a slight Darth Vader breathing noise it makes when you have it equipped.
See, that's class.
It doesn't do a whole lot otherwise, like it doesn't increase your health or anything. But it's still cool to have. I mean, you know. Another thing about the Sith Stalker armor too is you'll see on his belt he's got like nine lightsaber handles from defeated enemies.
Wow.
So he's got like Rom Koda's handle. He's got I think Darth Vader's handle. Or hilt. He's got the tip of that saber staff, that mechanical guy that you fight.
What about the hot chick? Her dual sabers, her dual baton sabers. The hot chick. About her.
No, you don't get Maris Brood's saber. But
dang it.
But there's about like 6 or 7 of them, so they still look pretty cool when you look at them. I think you also get half of Darth Maul's saber.
Oh, wow.
He's got half of Darth Maul's saber on his belt. So
how did he get that?
Magic, you know how it works.
Is that what we're calling it in Star Wars now? Magic?
Yeah, why not?
He used the Force.
So the next topic I had is Captain America Civil War. So, first of all, are you in the same mindset as most people where you think it's more of an Avengers film and less of a Captain America film?
Yeah, I am. I would say I always have that mindset going in just because there's so many like people, and you know, it is, I think, the best Captain America movie, but at the same time, it doesn't really feel like a Captain America movie. But it still has a nice message that connects to Steve and Bucky, and really the whole purpose following that.
You also have to keep in mind too that there's all these characters, but most of them show up only in the battle part.
Yeah,
like you don't.
The best part about the entire movie, was Spider-Man.
Like Spider-Man, Hawkeye, and Ant-Man, they all appear only when the battle is about to happen. And so, but yeah, I'm one of those people that thinks it is more of a Captain America than an Avengers, because it is, after all, it is technically still about Captain America. It's about him going after Bucky after all this stuff has been happening with Bucky, and he finally finds him after he's been framed by Zemo, and he's probably got the most screen time of anybody in the whole movie. Because it is still his movie, and you see probably him interacting with Bucky more than you'd ever see Iron Man interacting with anyone. Because once he there's in Bucky's apartment, and then there's after Bucky, Zemo triggers Bucky. They have that brief fight, and then there's again on the helicopter when he's trying to stop Bucky from taking off, and then of course there's in that I don't know what that place was, some kind of warehouse or something, where they have Bucky's arm in the kind of vice. And then of course there's the whole thing that Civil War has been leading up to in the airport. Probably
German airport.
Yeah, probably the best part of the whole movie, perhaps.
Without a doubt, definitely.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of disappointing you don't get to see more of it, because in the behind the scenes, I don't know if you ever watch behind the scenes stuff, but they show this one part of Vision getting knocked back into a van or something. You see the wires on him and stuff, but they show that in behind the scenes stuff, but they don't show it in the movie. So it's kind of weird. You don't get to see things that you would be actually kind of cool to see like that. You don't see Vision really get hit a lot. Hawkeye electrocutes him. Yeah. Scarlet Witch makes him extremely heavy that he falls through the floor, 20 times over. And then of course there's the airport battle. There's that brief, when as they call it in the featurette, they call it a splash panel, when all the heroes are fighting on screen at once. And you see this brief moment where Vision gets shot by an electric arrow by Hawkeye. But but otherwise you don't really see him get hit at all. You don't see you don't see maybe Scarlet Witch throwing him into the plane cockpit or something. So just seeing more of that would have been kind of cool. But yeah, it is certainly the best part of the whole movie. Just and especially the music part. Just as just when they clash, you hear the music playing. Yeah, it sounds pretty good, and So,
Very
but
good.
what do you think of the story overall? Did you like the story about like how starting in the what's it called, Lagos? Did you like
Yeah.
starting in Lagos, going all the way to where Cap's breaking them out right at the end? What'd you think of the story?
Um, the story was. It's not my favorite. I do think it comes full circle. I think I really. I think this movie was really beneficial for Iron Man and Captain America, like their relationship.
Yeah.
Um, and that leads into kind of like Civil War and how things are kind of like weird, and even Endgame too, which you're about to watch. But
Well, I've watched that
it's
part, but
oh yeah,
I watched up to the part where they reconciled, and then I paused it. So
yeah. So I really think that it really makes good do for all the future MCU movies to come. It
yeah,
brings that around. But yeah, it's a great movie.
it certainly lays the table for the Infinity War,
Yeah,
and because it's something that the directors really wanted to do, was they wanted the Avengers to be vulnerable in Infinity War when they fight Thanos, and Civil War clearly does that.
yeah, but it made them fight against themselves.
Yeah, and then they're separate throughout the whole movie, and I mean, most of the Avengers are still with Cap, I guess, but
Yeah,
Iron Man and Spider-Man are not. So,
yeah, I love
and
Spider-Man.
then of course even the Guardians split up, as Rocket and Groot go with Thor. Oh, and Thor kind of shows up in the battle, but he's not with all the Avengers right away.
We're talking about Infinity War, right?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, that's what Captain America Civil War kind of just led into. It's the shattering of the Avengers just when Thanos is starting to really come into his own sort of thing.
Yeah, it definitely does lead into that really well.
But yeah, I don't mind Civil War. The story, really. I mean, yeah, it's kind of weird that you see like you see Vision, for instance. He's kind of flirting with Wanda, and then all of a sudden his protocols kick in when she wants to go to the store.
Well, I would flirt with Wanda.
Yeah, I know, but
for a while it was my least favorite MCU.
That's because you lack vision.
Oh God. God.
I know, bad joke, but yeah, it's certainly a decent film, though. I mean, the story is, maybe it's hard for some people to follow. Maybe like, I don't know if people watch Marvel films all the time just for the story, or they're just waiting for the action and they kind of, because I mean, personally, in Endgame, for instance, I like watching most of the beginning, and then it's once the what's it called again? The time heist starts. That's when some of it I sort of watch, some of it I don't.
Yeah.
Like I certainly like watching the part where Hulk is might as well go on to Endgame. It's all on my topics here. But yeah, I like watching that one part where Hulk is trying to take the time stone from the Ancient One, and like,
yeah,
it's like, he's, because he's merged, he's sort of merged he's Banner and Hulk together for the first time. It's sort of got both their personalities slightly, and so he's kind of being a little aggressive when he's trying to take the time stone from the Ancient One. He's like, sorry, but I wasn't asking. Like, what are you gonna do to me? And then the Ancient One just, boom,
Bam.
you know, knocks Banner out of Hulk's body.
Endgame is better than Infinity War.
Nonsense. Whoever said that? Well, I don't know which one I prefer, honestly. I mean, certainly Infinity War has good character moments. Like, you don't see a whole lot of, new character interactions like in Infinity War, because all the Guardians are basically gone except for Rocket and Nebula.
Yeah.
And Doctor Strange and Black Panther. And so, you see some new interactions in Endgame, like between, when Rocket's talking about the Power Stone, and then Scott gets kind of excited when he mentions, outer space, and then Rocket kind of brushes his hair in a teasing way, kind of. But
wow. Yeah.
But otherwise, you don't see really any new interactions, so to speak. I would have liked to have seen an interaction between Star-Lord and Captain America.
Yeah.
It would have been
or Black Panther and Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, they sort of have interacted. They don't talk, but they do interact. Like when Black Panther throws him the gauntlet.
Yeah.
But
or Spider-Man and Star-Lord. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, like just the two of them without Iron Man around and the other Guardians. Just kind of see them have a one-on-one sort of thing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, Spider-Man has referenced movies too, so it'd be kind of interesting to see how their movie referencing would,
Yeah.
Maybe they'd bicker over which movie was better, or whatever one. Whichever movies they've seen are better than the other person, or something. Like Star-Lord likes Footloose. Spider-Man says it's the worst movie ever made, or whatever. Just it'd be kind of.
That would be so funny.
Yeah, it would certainly be an interesting interaction for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, it'd be interesting to see Doctor Strange interact with maybe trying to think here.
Spider-Man?
No, not Spider-Man.
Gamora. Gamora would be good.
Oh, yeah, Gamora, actually. She gets the least interactions in the whole two movies. Like,
yeah, because
she only meets Thor, and that's it. Like even the past Gamora, she doesn't meet anybody really. Like she fights alongside them in the end, but she never really interacts with any of them. But
yeah,
like Gamora's kind of got like the least amount of interactions Tony and Groot. There's a good one.
Oh, that would be good. Thor and
Stark's trying to tell Groot stuff, and Groot's just saying, "I am Groot," and he's like, "I know, but are you listening to me?" And I am Groot. It's like
Thor and Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Thor and Spider-Man would be. That's certainly one that's never happened, and Ant-Man and Star-Lord.
Oh no.
Well, actually, I don't know.
Oh my.
I mean, maybe. I mean, they are both thieves, technically, so.
Valkyrie and Gamora.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Or Gamora and Natasha, for that matter, since they're both master assassins in different parts of the universe.
Who's the better assassin?
But yeah, there's a lot of interactions they could have, you kind of wish they did in the thing. But I know, movies can't be unlimited. They have to have a set limit, and so we have to.
Secret Wars is gonna be good, crazy good.
Well, it hopefully will be anyway. I mean,
Get the right director.
Yeah. Well, not just the right director, but they need to go back to what made Marvel movies fun in the first place and stop throwing in political stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, that's part of the reason I haven't really been too invested in the MCU since Phase 4 started, is just because of all this stuff they've been pushing, I don't know.
She-Hulk is the best.
She-Hulk?
Yep, She-Hulk is the best Disney Plus TV show.
Franchise suggested Moon Knight to me.
Yeah, Moon Knight, and then you gotta watch Loki season 2, man. You have to.
Well, when it's on Blu-ray, I might.
Yeah.
Because I got Loki season 1. It was kind of interesting. I mean, it's sort of, I don't know, it's kind of like Loki going down a different path, but still becoming a hero sort of thing in the end.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously, it's not the same path that he takes in the movies where, he goes to jail and then he gets broken out to avenge his mother and then, becomes king for a couple of years and lets everything in the 9 realms go bad because he's too busy,
Yeah.
watching theater, as Thor puts it.
Theater.
But yeah, I watched that one yesterday. Like, I've been doing a marathon all week, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yesterday was Thor Ragnarok. Spider-Man Homecoming, Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then today,
why Doctor Strange after Spider-Man Homecoming?
Well, Spider-Man takes place 2 months after Civil War. And then it nothing really leads into Doctor Strange at all, really. Like, there's no post-credit scene that leads into the movie or anything. And Spider-Man's ending doesn't really lead into anything either. So it just seemed like it's the right place to put it, because, as you probably know, Doctor Strange does lead into Thor Ragnarok, if you saw that one scene at the end.
Yeah, I saw it.
And so, yeah, like, I watch movies, most movies I watch in order depending on the post-credit scenes. I mean, sometimes I will watch them chronologically because either, the post-credit scene doesn't matter, or the movie after it doesn't get led into by anything. But it takes place in the timeline in the around that time, and as far as I'm concerned, and yeah, Doctor Strange technically does take place during Thor Ragnarok, or right before it, because you remember in Endgame when the Ancient One says you're about 5 years too early because it's 2012 and 5 years being 2017, so it just makes sense to do it that way, and as opposed to Homecoming, which is 2 months after Civil War, so that's about, like, I don't know, August or September or something, whenever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just makes more sense that way. But yeah, I watch Ant-Man and the Wasp before Infinity War, because I want it to be a little more mysterious at the end when they disappear. And so, because like if you watch Infinity War first, then you already know it's because of Thanos that they disappear. But if you don't, if you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp before Infinity War, and you just pretend as hard as you can that you haven't seen Infinity War before, then when you see, Hope and Hank and Janet vanish into ash, you kind of think it's maybe because of something Scott did in the quantum realm, because it happens just after he activates that device thing. And so it kind of, if you try to forget about Infinity War, it just makes it more mysterious, like why they disintegrated. You think maybe it's because the quantum realm stuff that Scott was just doing had something to do with it. And then you watch Infinity War, and then at the end, when everybody dies, then it clicks, like, oh, that's what happened to them. It just adds more mystery, as in my opinion. It just adds more mystery to do it in that order. The whole point of Infinity War is to surprise people. Like everything that the Russos wanted to do in the movie was to surprise everybody, so that nobody, people thought maybe Thanos was gonna die when Thor threw his axe at him, but he didn't, and he ends up snapping his fingers. Or you think that they're gonna get the gauntlet away from him, but no, he wakes up after Star-Lord loses his temper. And stuff, and you think these things, but you're obviously, it kind of gets turned around on your head when like you see it's definitely not what you're expecting. So and that's what I try to do with this, is I want it to be mysterious as to Janet, Hope, and Hank's vanishing. So but that's what I've done. And today I watched Infinity War and Captain Marvel because of the post-credit scene.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because the credit scene takes place just after Infinity War, just before Endgame, so that's why I watch it. And I'm not one of those people that's just gonna disc swap like crazy just to put certain scenes in the right place, So I'll just watch the whole movie regardless of if it takes place in the past, just so that one scene can be played without me having to juggle discs. So it's just easier that way, because you don't want to do that with Captain America, where you skip the very beginning when they find him in the ice. You skip that and then just go straight to the past up until the point where he's about to wake up, and then you try to play the beginning and then the past kind of back to back, and it's just a whole lot of juggling you have to do, which it's harder than just watching the films. So but so my second last topic, sorry if I'm taking up a lot of your time just blabbing here.
It's fine.
My second last topic for this thing was Spider-Man films. So have you seen all of them, or have you not?
Yes.
And which ones did you like the most, and what do you think of the Raimi trilogy in particular?
I have seen all the Spider-Man films. If you want my top three, it would have to be
No Way
The Amazing
Home.
Spider-Man. So it'd have to be The Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Spider-Man No Way Home.
I haven't seen that second one.
Oh, well, it's good. It's really good.
Yeah. That was the
Raimi trilogy.
Which one was that? Is that the the first one they made, right?
No, it's the second one.
Across the Spider-Verse?
It's the sequel. It's the second one.
Oh, okay. What was the first one called?
Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, Into. Okay. Yeah. I knew there was one that came out around the time Venom came out, cuz there's a scene in the credits of Venom that shows it, so. But yeah, so you were about to say Raimi verse.
Oh yeah, so I do like the Raimi films, and it really is like a debate. Like, if you're taking Tom's trilogy, and then you're taking Andrew's duology, and you're taking Toby's films. But if we're talking specifically the Raimi films, I mean, I like them. They definitely do have that charm, that Spider-Man kind of feel to it. I will say it does feel like the most comic accurate. Like, if I were like ripping stuff out of the comics and I was putting it into film, it would probably be the Raimi films. And the color grading is amazing.
Yeah.
I might actually be one of the few people that actually likes Spider-Man 3 and that like doesn't think it's like complete crap.
I don't mind Spider-Man 3. I mean, I do admit Venom is a little weird.
But it's just fun. Like, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, but just the way they did Venom, like, I don't mean the symbiote. I mean just, like, at the end, the way they did him, because first of all, they made him really slim, like Spider-Man, and Venom is never supposed to be slim. Unless you're talking Agent Venom. But, like, slim Venom, the size of Venom the size of Spider-Man just doesn't look right. He literally just looks like a guy that put way too much time into making his teeth sharp. Because like you see that shot where they fall, when they're falling, and it's just weird seeing Venom be the same size basically as Spider-Man, and it's not. It should at least be more like Thor versus Hulk compared to Spider-Man versus Black Suit Spider-Man with a mouth. It's just. But like they at least did it. They did it sort of comic book accurate in terms of his appearance and everything. Like they gave him his spider symbol, because the Venom films so far are still being stubborn about that. Which I don't, I personally don't really agree with why they don't have the spider symbol on Venom. Like, why couldn't they just have made a scene where maybe the symbiote finds they're maybe going down an alleyway, and then Venom sees a spider in a web or something, and he's like, ooh, that looks like an interesting creature or something, and then he decides to put a big white one on him when he turns into Venom,
Yeah.
Just maybe, I mean, I know it's not comic accurate, but if it's not going to have Spider-Man in it, well, at least find an alternative to the white spider. Don't just negate it altogether, because that's the thing that makes Venom iconic, is the white spider.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, I mean, yeah, they still made they made him, like both Venoms, Spider-Man 3 and the Venom from those two films, like they both have accuracies and deviations, but yes, I think I like the shot in Spider-Man 3 when Harry shows up and he whacks Venom through some walls.
Yeah.
I remember that always being like, I remember when I got Spider-Man 3 that I would always just go through the scenes like until I got to where the battle was about to happen. Like I was just like, forget the whole movie, just get to the end, because I liked watching that one spot, that one part where Harry whacks him. It's just like,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, Harry's one and only heroic time in the whole movie is in that final battle, and
Yeah.
of course he doesn't last. It's kind of like the Ancient One in Doctor Strange. You see her; she's all mystical and all that, and then at the end she dies.
She's a baldy.
Yeah. Oh, that's why she dies. No.
Receding hairline, non-existent.
Well, she's also got scars on her head, if you probably saw. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I certainly think Spider-Man 3 is a bit underrated. Like the black suit is pretty cool. You gotta admit, like they were trying to make something that looked similar to the blue and red one, but obviously, they had to alter it slightly, like so they made the spider symbol slightly different with the bent legs on it. But
yeah,
it's still a pretty cool suit, and I like that fight in the subway with Sandman.
Oh yeah, that seems cool.
It's brief, but it's awesome,
Yeah.
You kind of gotta wonder like what the fights would be like if there wasn't the symbiote, and the people in Sony weren't pressuring and pushing Sam Raimi to put in Venom just to make fans happy, which apparently not a whole lot were, because just the execution was not all there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Do you think Topher Grace was a good Venom?
He could have been. He was a good Eddie Brock.
Yeah. But there's some people, I mean, Tom Hardy's a pretty good Eddie Brock too, and obviously he's alive. He's not dead like Topher Grace's Eddie Brock is, but
I actually prefer Topher Grace's Eddie Brock to Tom Hardy.
Oh.
Yeah, I like the more
rivalry with Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. It is pretty good. I mean, he's trying to be better than Peter, and the only thing he's better at is getting fired harder.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I liked Sandman just as a villain. Like I think the actor was a pretty good choice. It's too bad we don't, it's because of the whole Venom thing, I think, that there wasn't as much Sandman action as we probably otherwise might have gotten.
Yeah.
Because, I think Sandman was going to be the main villain initially, and before, Sam Raimi was, essentially harassed by people at Sony to put Venom in, and so he caved. But it would have been interesting to see what Sandman would have been like if Venom wasn't in the film, and see how Peter, like if maybe the similar story where, he's the one who killed Uncle Ben, but Peter doesn't have the black suit, so it'd be interesting to see just how far he would go without the black suit.
Yeah.
Because obviously the black suit just enhances all that negativity and makes him a lot more brutal.
Yeah.
But if he didn't have it, would he still be quite brutal towards him when he fights? Or, it's kind of, you gotta wonder,
I do.
You gotta wonder what might have been.
Yeah, you do.
So last topic for tonight. I know this one has been this has been kind of a long one, but I try my best, and it's easier with franchise because he's easy at picking topics when I'm kind of stumped. So
Yeah.
but yeah, the last topic I had was Indiana Jones. So
Ooh.
the obvious question: have you seen Dial of Destiny?
Yes, I have.
And do you prefer it over? Well, I shouldn't say do you prefer it. Do you like it quite a bit, or do you think it's the worst one made?
Don't tell franchise this, but over the coming months, I realize it's not that great. It's not that impactful to me.
Yeah.
Don't tell franchise that.
Well, I might not have to if he listens to this one, but
Oh God. Yep.
but
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. But don't worry. I mean, he says stuff about you too sometimes, so
Whoa. Wow.
But anyway.
Wow, but no, I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I was telling franchise when we were actually talking about it. It's that video one podcast I was telling you about earlier with the Halo Reach gameplay. I felt, my dad and I both felt it was a lot of chasing in the movie, not as much action as you'd expect. I mean, I know Harrison Ford, he's in his 80s, so physically he doesn't have the stamina probably that he did have a long time ago, even in Crystal Skull. But yeah, it seemed a lot more chasey than any of the others. It's like,
yeah, Temple of Doom is my favorite.
Yeah, mine too. Just because it's so different from,
Yeah.
like it's the only one. It's the only one that has absolutely nothing to do with any of the wars whatsoever.
Yeah, I feel like Last Crusade to me. I mean, look, it has its moments, but there's just some parts that are just so boring. Boring. Goodness. But
well,
yeah, no.
I don't mind Last Crusade. I like the music because, especially in that one scene when Indy is healing his father with the Grail, and you hear John Williams' music playing as he's doing it. Is just something about it is just touching to me,
Yeah. How does it go?
The song or the music?
Yeah.
It goes,
yeah. How does it go?
Let's see how does it go? I've only listened to it so many times, so I should know this. It goes, oh
yeah.
It's actually the whole Grail theme, basically. But
yeah, I like that theme. I do like that.
It's pretty good, and even the theme that plays between Indy and his father, the music there is pretty good too, and but Temple of Doom is definitely my favorite just because how different it is, and I really wish they had made more films that were, within the wars time frame, but not involving them in any way. Like I really wish they had just maybe created even a completely original, enemy faction for just one film, and I mean maybe taking something still from history that they could use as the artifact, but Nazis 3 times in a row. Well, I shouldn't say 3 times in a row, but 3 times. Nazis 3 times, Russians once, but still they're part of the Cold War. It's, and then there's the Kali cult, which, I don't care if people think it's racist or whatever their opinion is about it. I like it because it's different. Because it's different. I'm not looking at it through the eyes of a of a racist seeker. I'm looking at it as an audience member, you know.
I also just think it's so like it's so comedic. Like there's that scene, it's probably my favorite scene where they're at the dinner table and Willie she scoops up the eyeballs and then it's just so disgusting, and then monkey brains. Oh
Yeah.
my ugh. So it's just so unnerving for the time, and it was the first film to get a PG-13 rating, so
Yeah.
it was definitely impactful.
Yeah, and I was telling Franchise about that one scene when they're above the Temple of Doom, like they're looking out at the guy that gets his heart ripped out.
Oh yeah, that scarred me.
And I was telling him I thought it was kind of just a funny shot, like just after the heart gets ripped out and Willie screams and goes behind the corner. And I just laugh at it, thinking like, "Are you nuts, Willie? Don't you realize there's a congregation below you? Are you trying to get caught here?" You know.
She doesn't ever think.
You know.
She's just hot, and that's it.
I mean, you know, but it's part of the character, and even that, I don't care what people think. I mean, you know, characters are supposed to be different from each other, you know. So Willie Willie was supposed to be the way she was compared to, you know, Marion. You know,
Yeah, and we also get Short Round, the best Indiana Jones companion you could get.
Yeah, I was actually when Crystal Skull was coming out, I was kind of hoping Mutt would be sort of a cross, sort of similar to Short Round.
He kind of was.
Yeah, he kind of was, but Short Round still did a lot more punching, but Mutt got a lot more punched, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones.
Short Round is good at punching, Mutt is good at getting punched. So, but, yeah, I don't mind. I didn't mind Dial of Destiny. It's... You know, it's just, it did seem like it was more chase than action, but I can, you know, maybe I just need to maybe watch it again, probably, because sometimes when you're in a theater, a movie seems longer than it eventually ends up being, and maybe by seeing it a second time when it comes out on Blu-ray, the chases won't seem quite so extensive like they did.
Yeah.
But
I think it is out on Blu-ray.
No, not yet.
Dang.
They're still... I don't know what's going on. It's like they've been delaying releases these days, you know, like I think Marvel films were coming out like 2 months after the movie came out. And but Avatar didn't come out until, like, I think it was last month.
Yeah.
And that was... But it came out in, what, December? So... It's like... I don't know. Some of these studios are just... I don't know what they're doing. I mean, maybe they're trying to put a lot of making of stuff in it, or, you know, whatever. But...
yeah.
But I'm definitely still gonna get it when it does eventually come out. It's speculated, not confirmed, just speculated that it'll be approximately probably late September, early October time. So
yeah, 3 months.
But you know, I can wait, and so, but I think that'll probably do for tonight, because we're getting close to an hour and 20. But it was a fun one. It certainly is different when you're doing it with Franchise, but you know,
yeah,
I don't know why. It's just easier with him when you do it, because, you know, I mean, partly because, you know, he and I both come up with topics, you know, so we kind of go back and forth kind of thing. Whereas, no offense to you, but with you, it seems like I'm trying to keep the conversation going, because
I don't know, like, what to bring up, like, that we would both know stuff about, so it's kind of hard to.
Well, maybe I don't know, maybe watch some of my podcasts with Franchise, because we talk about a bunch of stuff, and there's some things that might click with you that you might want to talk about, because we could have a different discussion about the same topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, just but yeah, maybe we could even continue the Force Unleashed thing once you get the black crystal next time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just
definitely.
give me a good 30-minute, good 30-minute talk about, how you got it.
I
like,
got you.
It's just like, well, it all started back in our last podcast when you told me about it, and so on and
And
so
I
on
ventured.
and so on.
I ventured and I got it.
So, but all right, but yeah, we certainly will have to do this again. Still, I mean, it's not boring. It's just challenging, is all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still pretty good and a pretty good time. And again, people, if you so desire, again, you're not being ordered to do it. Feel free to subscribe, and if you ever want to be notified about more podcasts in the future or any videos that I might try to do, then yeah, subscribe so you don't miss out. And any closing remarks, Echo?
Everybody subscribe to Recon. He's a great guy. He's awesome. He's got the awesome gameplay in the background too, which I don't know what it is yet.
Well, I can tell you now what it is, because the thing is up. It is Dying Light Old Town.
Oh.
And some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplay.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'll probably have a little bit of something else, just because the length of this video, and it'll just have to fill in some of the time that's left.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's more podcasts.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's just those two things. But yeah, anyway, I had a good time, and so until the next podcast, later, folks.